weird, give it some time, and then ask me any questions you've got. Find the x-intercept for each equation. Okay, the idea is we would like to graph these. Last week what we learned is to graph these using a table of values, right? So we went and found some x values and some y values, right? And the exam's there. You got full marks for equations. Algebra, you lost, I think 3 marks. But otherwise, it was great. So good job. Find the x-intercept for each equation. So sorry, last week we did something like this. Like I said, I might have given you, 1, 2, and 3. We went and subbed in x is 1, and we got different y values. From that, let's just call this 2, 3, 4. We graphed it. X is 1, y is 2, x is 2, y is 3, and then x is 3, y is 4, something like that. And then we drew the line. Oh, hopefully passing through the dots. Looks good. That was last week. We did that, which we're going to recap this week as well. But I thought we'll start with the harder one first, something that is going to be new, which is finding the x-intercept and then eventually finding the y-intercept. What this does, it removes the need of the table. We won't need to find the table. What you're actually finding is this. This is called the x-intercept, and then that's our number up here, which is called the y-intercept. Why is that? Because obviously this is your y-axis, this is your x-axis, right? So this would be called your y-intercept. It's where it cuts the y-axis. This is where it cuts the x-axis. When you know these 2 points, can you see I can just draw a straight line through that? I actually don't need the dots. So the idea is it's meant to be a quicker method than what we did last week. The table of values will not fail you. So like as you get older in year 9, maybe, but more towards year 10, year 11, year 12, you'll start to look at different kind of graphs. You'll start to look at these things called parabolas. You'll start to look at circles. You'll start to look at exponentials. You'll start to look at hyperbolas, all these fancy words, and fancy graphs. But they are all building blocks starting from our lines. And lines are building blocks starting from our equations. So if we know our equations, this is what I'm trying to show you. If you know equations up to the 100% level, every topic moving forward in math will be easy. If algebra and equations is not perfected, you will struggle with every topic until you go back and perfect it. So let's start this topic now. All these beautiful graphs are gone. Let's see what we mean with x and y-intercepts. Has anyone ever seen x-intercepts or y-intercepts before? Zara saying yes. Anybody else? Here, girls? No? Nobody else has heard of x-intercepts or y-intercepts? Okay, not a problem. So, like I said, x-intercepts are these, right? This is called an x-intercept. Anything that's on here, on this line, on this x-axis, is called an x-intercept, where it cuts my x-axis. Yep, we understand that? So wherever it cuts that x line, it's called the x-intercept. What is the y value? What is the y value on this line? The y value is always equal to 0. So the idea is to find your x-intercept, you have to let y equal to 0. So to find x-intercept, let y equal to 0. And since we're here, these are here, these lines here are obviously called your y-intercept. Oops, y-intercept. To find the y-intercept, to find y-intercept, someone's on, hold on. Sorry, I'm going to mute you there. To find the y-intercept, you would let, what do we reckon? X equal to 0. So you can see it's the opposite. If you want to find your y-intercept, you have to let x is 0. To find the x-intercept, you're going to let y equal to 0. So please write that down. To find x-intercept, let y equal to 0. To find y-intercept, you let x equal to 0. And then we're going to start with question 1. Question 1a. Question says, find the x-intercepts for each question, or for each equation. So 2x plus y equals 2. How do I find the x-intercepts? You let the y value equal to 0. So, Cindy, you see this y value right here? What does it become? 0. Simple. If it's 0, the best way to see it and not overcomplicate it, if it's 0, can't I just say it's gone? It's 0, so we don't even need to have it. That's probably the easiest way to see it. So what do you have left if it's gone? You're going to have left 2x equals to 2. 2x equals 2. And look at this. This comes back to like week 2 or week 3 of equations. How do I get rid of the 2 that's here? Divide by 2, right? This is multiplied, so you're going to divide by 2. What you do to one side, you do to the other. X equals to 1. I'll pause there. Any questions? Pay attention. I can see you drawing stuff here. Wait. 2x plus y equals to 2. Again, to find the x-intercept, you let y equal to 0. So the y values are crossed out. You understand that? Because it's 0. You're left with 2x equals 2. And then again, how do I get rid of that? How do I get rid of this 2 here? Because it's multiplied, you've got to divide by 2. And then 2 divided by 2 is 1. Any questions? I think we'll do another one. Right? Let's try another one. B. Adele, do you want to try the next one? 2x minus y equals 4. How do I find the x-intercept, Adele? You let
the y
equal to
0.
So that means if y is 0, it's gone, right?
Yeah.
Do you understand that logic? If something is 0, do we have it there anymore?
No.
Not really. So you can pretty much think of it as it's gone. So what would you have left?
You would have 2x equals 4.
Yeah. Everything else that's not 0. And then how do I get rid of the 2?
You have to find let.
Say it again.
You have to find the y-intercept. Let x equals 0.
No, we've already done that. To find the x-intercept, you let y equal to 0. Now I'm up to here, and I want to solve for x. So I got to get rid of this 2. And the way
you put it over 4.
Yeah, that's it. Over 4. Done. Exactly right. So x equals 4 divided by 2?
2.
2. Does this ring a bell, this line, from what we've done before? 3x equals 9. Let's say you divide by 3. Right? Remember that from equations?
Mm-hmm.
So it's only one extra step that we're doing, which is what I was trying to tell you guys when we did the equations. I said, think of equations as a pyramid. We're just going to keep adding one extra step each time. Let's try another one. C, x plus y equals 6. Matt, do you want to try this one? I want to try to find the x-intercept.
So
what do I do to find the x-intercept?
Would you get rid of the y because you make it a 0, and then
You make it a 0.
and then would you do 6 over 1?
Wait, what do I have left?
X equals 6.
Do I need to do anything?
No, not really, because
No,
x
not
equals
really,
6.
because you've already done. X equals 6. I didn't do nothing. I crossed out the y, and you've got x equals 6. Let's try it again. D, x minus y equals 8. Who wants to try this? Just so you can see if you're getting it. How do I find the x-intercept?
Would you take out
Yep.
the y?
Take out the y. So it's better, instead of saying take out the y, let's just keep saying make y equal to 0, which means yes, we're going to take it out, but let's just get used to the whole fact that y is 0. Good. And then what are you left with?
X equals 8.
Nice and easy. E. Let's keep going. Again, whoever wants to try it, just so you can see if you're understanding it. 4x minus 3y equals 6.
Would you get rid of the y?
You would get rid of the y. If you just get rid of the y, does that mean you're still going to have a 3?
No.
No, because what's 3 times 0?
0.
0. So all of this is gone. What are
But
you
then
left
you-
with?
6/4.
But no, hold on. Yeah, you're right. But wait, what are you left with?
4x
Everything that's not-
and 6.
That's what I wanted. 4x equals 6. Everything that's not crossed out. And then how do I get rid of the 4?
You get, you make it a, is it? 4, x equals 24.
Ooh, nope.
6.
Nope.
Then I
6
don't know.
divided by 4.
Okay.
What you said at the beginning. See, again, how do I get rid of the times here?
You,
Divide it. 6 over 4. And then that becomes 3 over 2.
yeah.
F. Still nothing? F. Let's try another one. 2x minus 3y equals 12. 2x minus 3y equals 12. What do you make equal to 0? 3y. That's gone. 0. What are you left with? 2x equals 12. At this stage, we want to get rid of the 2 because 2 times something equals 12. How do I get rid of the 2? You divide it, and then as you divide it, what's 12 divided by 2? X is 6. Great work. Done? We're happy with that? That's our x-intercepts. We're going to do exactly the same for y-intercepts. But what do we do for y-intercepts?
You do the x.
No. Yeah. You'll do the other way around. You'll let your x equal to 0 this time. So the other way around. To find your y, you make x is 0. To find your x, you make y 0. We're going to do it all again for these questions. So 2x plus y equals 2. A. 2x plus y equals 2. Let's write find the y intercept. Okay, again, to find the y-intercept, you let x equal to 0. So what happens to this component here? It becomes 0. What are you left with? You guys can see the answer. Y equals 2. Any questions? B. 2x minus y equals 4. 2x minus y equals 4. And again, I need to find the y-intercept. What do I let equal to 0? The x. I think you guys are starting to see this. What am I left with? Very important. What am I left with here? Oh, look what's in front of it. Yeah, so it's minus y equals 4. How do I get rid of this negative number here? Negative 1. Move it to the. What did you say? Yeah, pretty much. So y equals to negative 4. Because a negative and a negative makes it a positive 4. Or, to get rid of this negative, you divide by negative 1. You divide by negative 1. Does that make sense? Because there's an imaginary 1 here, isn't there? Again, any questions? If not, we'll do one last one. We'll do F. And if we're happy, I'll get you guys working, just to see if you're understanding it all as well. 2x minus 3y equals 12. Again, to find the y-intercept, you let the x bit becomes 0. Again, what are you left with? Negative 3y equals 12. How do we get rid of the negative 3? Divide by negative 3. What's the answer? 12 over negative 3? Negative 4. Why are we doing all this? This is why. So now, let's go back to F, right? So look at F. We just went and found the x-intercept, and we found the y-intercept. So, same question, but we found the x and the y-intercept. What I can do now, if I know the x-intercept is 6, I know the y-intercept is negative 4. Can we see that? X equals 6, which is there. Y equals negative 4. Negative 4 is somewhere there. You can just draw your line through them now. You have just graphed the line 2x minus 3y equals 12, which might be pretty hard to put in a table of values because y is in the subject. So the whole point of this is to graph any line, any curve as well as you get older. Like I was showing you, you can draw those circles, those parabolas, whereas with a table of values sometimes there'll be some issues. So again, let's see another graph. Let's have a look at A. A, we know the y value is 2. A up here, we found the x value is 1, what we solved for before. So x is 1, y is 2. That means if I wanted to graph it, so sketch A, which is 2x plus y equals 2, we found x equals to 1 and y equals to 2. X is 1, y is 2, and what do? Draw a line through them. Again, look, you've just graphed this line without having a table of value. So it's a little bit harder because of the equations, but it's a more powerful one. Now, I'm going to get you guys trying this. You're going to try to do it for both. So x and y intercepts for each one. I'll do A, just to show you how you should set it out as you're writing these out. So A, 2x minus 2y equals 4. Okay, x-intercept. You have to let y equal to 0. If y is 0, that means you'll have this. The y value is 0, so it's gone. And then of course, 2x equals to 4. How do I get rid of the 2? You divide by 2, so x equals 2. And then y-intercept, you'll let x equal to 0. Again, think about it. The x value is 0, so it disappears. Just look at whatever else is left without the x, which would be negative 2y equals to 4. And then again, how do I get rid of the negative 2? You divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2, so y equals to negative 2. That's it. That's where I want you guys to get up to at this stage. So that's A. If you're struggling completely, just talk to me and we'll work through it. For those who think they can do it, get started and finish it all the way up to F. Copy that down.
So do you
firstly
want me to do? Do you want me to do A included or just go straight to B?
No,
and then
copy
F?
A. It'll be good to have that in your books. So copy A
Okay.
first, so you have that, and then start doing B. Sorry? All of them. We're going to do A to F. Because once we've done that, then we can sketch these, and we're done.
Sam,
Okay.
what happens if you can't what's the name? Make it like into a simplified fraction? Could you change it to another decimal?
No, oh yeah, you can leave it as a decimal, or you could leave it like this: 8 divided by 3.
Okay.
Hmm? Yeah. For B, A, X, on 3 is 3x. And 1 is 0. Yeah, B. And 1 is 0. We'll do that here. 3x equals. Right back. Like this. Right. So that is it. And then line, make this is draw that line. Where you get it? Here. Look at it. So where you get it? Here you go. Do that. And you have a little bit here. And one is home, is about that. And 2x equals 4. And once you have this thing, have a little straight x. Right? Yes. Yes. Anyone done? You done as well?
Yes, I'm done.
I'm done.
Okay. Okay, that's good. Yeah, you've done well. Come on. You better in the theory testing about the practice. Yeah. That's good. That's fine. So you smashed the actual theory. The practice. Yeah. Cool. Cool. All right. Someone want to help us out with the answers? For B, what do we get? X equals, and we can double check it all.
8.
8.
Oh, wait.
8 on
8
3.
over 3.
Yeah. And Y equals?
8.
Negative 8?
Oh, yeah.
Because there's a negative Y, right? So when you divide by negative 1, okay. Anyone want me to go through the first one?
Sam, I just got here now because I was late.
Okay, that's
So I don't
fine.
know.
Yeah, can you please go through it, Sam, please?
Yep. So, B, 3x minus y equals 8. So what we've got to do, the first thing is we're going to try to find the x-intercept. So you've got to let y equal to 0. So that means you let this bit equal to 0. So what are you left with? You've got 3x equals 8. Does that make sense first? Let's go through that line. Yes? Does that make sense?
Yep.
And then I need to get rid of the 3. How do I get rid of the 3? Divide by 3. Divided by 8. So x equals 8 on 3. Adele, does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, and let's try to do the y value. If I'm trying to find the y-intercept, you'll let x equal to 0. Again, in this equation, you'll let x equals to 0. So what are you left with? Negative y equals to 8. Again, this time y needs to become, just by looking at it, y needs to become negative 8. Do you understand that?
Yeah, so you got the minus y by crossing out the 3x.
Yes, correct, because x
Okay.
has to be 0.
So like the
And
first
the
one's
same
x
thing for
and the
this one.
second one's y.
Sorry?
So the first one's x and the second one's y.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, you got two different letters. Because this is a y-intercept, where it's cutting the y's. This is your x-intercept, so where it's cutting the x's. So you got two different cases. And again, we'll do C. C is 2x plus y equals 6. C. 2x plus y equals to 6. Let's go. 2x plus y equals to 6. Adele, tell me. What would you do for
So
your
you do
x-intercept?
so 2x plus 0, so you change the y to 0.
Yep, 2x plus 0.
And then so it's 2x equals 6.
Good job.
And then you go 6 over 2. And then that equals 3.
Beautiful, we're back. There you go. Can you see why we learnt equations now, Adele? Or how it's used?
Yeah. Yes.
So let's go next one. And then we had to also do y-intercept. Y-intercept. To do your y-intercept, you have to let x equal to 0.
Yeah.
There's two answers, right? If x is 0 now, what would you be left with? X is 0, gone.
So y or plus y.
Yeah, oh, y is plus y, that's fine. So y,
Yeah.
and what else?
Equals 6.
Exactly, that's what you're left with. You got to say the whole thing. Y equals 6. You don't even need to do anything. It's done. Y equals to 6.
Yeah.
All right. Adele, you want to continue the rest now?
Yes, please.
Just zoom out. Actually, hold on, let me just get the others working. For those who have finished, we'll mark them in a second. But while you're waiting, start the next questions. So those who are still up to D, E, and F, finish them off. The others, start question 4. Good work.
Sam,
Yep.
I don't really get what question 4, like, I don't really get what it means, like the question.
Find the X and the Y intercept. It's exactly what we've just done.
Yeah, but like, I don't get the, because at the questions that we just did,
Yeah.
the equals was at the end, not the start.
It doesn't matter when, okay, when it's x-intercept, what do you let equal to 0?
The y.
So it will look like this. Y is 0, 2x plus 1. Doesn't this look like something you've solved before?
Oh, okay.
What do?
You.
It's solving for x. Maybe this might look easier. What do? Minus the 1.
But isn't...
Have you forgotten how to do these questions? What do? Minus
I
the
don't
5.
think I was here when you did that, because I don't remember.
3x plus 5 equals 7.
So what happens to the x?
So you first get rid of the plus 5 by minusing. And then you divide by 3.
So then
same
over
thing.
there it's the same thing.
Yeah,
So like minus 1
that's perfect. And
equals 0. Oh,
equals negative 1.
okay.
And then you got to get rid of the negative 2. So how do I get rid of the negative 2? You're going to divide it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Oh wait, sorry, John. I thought it was Matt. My bad. You guys sound very similar to me. John, I understood. Sorry, I understand why you're having problems with that. That's okay.
Yeah.
Does that one actually make sense?
On the...
The one that I just did now?
Yeah, that one.
Do you get the idea of that?
I don't get the second one that you did, but this first one, yeah.
Wait. You don't understand the black one or the
Yeah,
orange?
now I understand the black one.
Okay. Yeah. So the idea is when you're solving for x, you leave what it's attached to till the end.
Okay.
So you first get rid of the plus 1. I first got rid of the plus 5.
Okay.
Then I have to get rid of the 3. Then I have to get rid of the negative 2. So I divided by negative 2, or in this case, I divided by 3.
Okay.
The y-intercept is going to be really easy, because what happens when x is 0? What is y equal to? Straight away.
0.
Oh, no. When x is 0, what do you get? Y equals?
1.
Yeah, 1, because that bit's 0.
Yeah.
So that's with y equals 1. So that one's easy. It's just the x that was a bit harder. Good job. Do D. We've done D. Up there. You've done D, you've done E. Have you done all those top ones? Oh, perfect. Then mine start with this one, B. because that would be similar to the top ones. X plus y take away 3 equals 0. Work with what? No, x and y intercept. Wow. See what I'm telling you? X and y intercept. That's it. When you find that, you realize the graph is easy.
Sam, how do we work it out if it's 0, 0 on the thing? So would you, like, do you work out what's on the
These
intercept?
zeros are just trying to tell you your y-intercept, x is 0. Your x-intercept, y is 0. So that's just what we've done. You don't need to
Okay.
let this confuse you. Don't let this confuse you here. I'll cross it out. Stop
So
looking.
just work out the intercept.
Don't change anything we've done. That's all I can keep saying. Don't change anything we've done.
So just work out the intercept.
That's it.
Yeah.
Now you're in. Let me take you back. And, it goes really quick. You guys let me know when you're done with this. And I will. Big, right? And one is the equals 0. One time. X. Three equals. How many is minus 3? 3 to the outside. You know, this is 1 is good. X equals. Equals 0. How many is minus 3? That's opposite of minus 3. Plus 3. So we have x equals 3 plus 3.
Sam,
Yes.
once I've done the working out of all the equations,
Yes.
do I draw the graph?
If you can, if you know what to do with the graph, do it. If you can't, then just continue doing the x and y steps, and then I will draw the graph.
Okay.
Sam,
Yep.
just for A, would x equal half?
Correct.
So then how will we put that on the graph?
Well, that could be 1. That could be a half.
Oh, okay.
0.5.
Okay.
if you wanted to. Yeah, you could do that. Adele,
Yes.
stay back at the end of the lesson. I've just marked your exam.
Okay. Thank you.
It's looking good, so don't stress.
Oh, and I need to talk to you as well.
We'll talk to each other.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think overall you got 1, 2, 2, 2. One, 2. Yep, you only got 2 wrong.
Oh.
So I think that's excellent. And then I'll go through the 2 you got wrong. Okay,
Okay.
let's do this. Let's start. All right. So where was I? Anyone not understand the first one? So where y was 0 and we got x equals to half.
Can we just go through it, please?
Yep, let's do it. Let's start from the beginning again. Oops. Okay. Okay. All right. So to find my x-intercept, I let y equal to 0. Right? To find my x-intercept, I have to let y equal to 0. So it will look like this. 0 equals negative 2x plus 1. Then, to get rid of the plus 1, to bring it to the other side, you would minus 1. And then same thing, to get rid of this negative 2, to bring it over this side, you'll divide by negative 2, so therefore you'll get x equals to 1 on 2. Adele, does that make sense? Like this?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, like that. What bit's the trickiest bit?
Maybe probably like once you get it, once you get plus 1 over next to the
Yeah.
0,
So,
or yeah.
actually, to do the equations bit, I get it. All right, as we do the 4, if you're still having issues, then I'll get you and mine are doing a little bit more work. That's fine. And then obviously to find the y-intercept, you would let x equal to 0. When x is 0, what happens? You get y equals to just 1. Because x is 0. Right? That one makes sense. So y is equal to 1. Then we're going to plot it onto my graph. There's x is a half. There's y is 1. And there's your graph. Any questions about that? For those who did it going up by halves, so half and then
Sam?
1, that would be allowed as well. Yes.
I still don't get like how to do the graph.
Okay, so you've got x is a half, which is right there. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
And then y is 1. Well, the y values is 1. All
So
you've got
is the 1 on the y line?
Yeah, correct, because y is 1
Okay.
and x is half. So these are the
So
x values.
what's with that orange line? Does that
Well, what you're trying to do, once you've got your x and y, you have to draw a line that goes through that. Both
okay?
half and 1.
Yeah.
So let's do it again. Look at this. X plus y take away 3 equals 0. Again, when I'm finding the x-intercept, you let your y equal to 0. So it'll look like this, because this bit's 0. Yep. And then you're going to plus the 3. So you'll get x equals to 3. 1, 2, 3, somewhere there. Do the same thing for the other one. So you'll let your x become 0. If x is 0, you're left with y, take away 3 equals to 0. So then y equals to 3 as well, because you're going to bring this over. 1, 2, 3. And then what do we do now?
Draw the line.
Draw the line that goes through those two numbers. You have just graphed x plus y, take away 3 equals to 0. Adele, Kiara, make sense? Wow.
Kind of.
Kind of, still? Which bit? Which bit's still confusing you?
Like
You get the
in
graph.
the second, in the B1, I don't know how you took the y off.
How I took the y off. But when y is 0, don't I just have x take away 3?
Oh yeah, true.
And then what happens when x is 0? Then I have y take away 3?
Equals 0.
Yeah, see? And then just plus the 3. If you actually write it down, you will get it. If you don't write it down, it'll be really hard for you to understand this, because you're trying to do it more visually. So let's try C. Again, to do C, to find my x-intercept, you would let y equal to 0. So this bit here, y needs to be 0. So if 0 equals 3x plus 1, 0 equals 3x plus 1, I need to get rid of the x. I need to solve for x. So how do I get rid of this plus 1? Minus 1 equals 3x. And then, how do I get rid of the 3 here? Divide by 3, so x equals to -1/3. All right, let me pause there. Questions there? Kiara, Elijah, any questions?
Would y for C be 4?
Say that again.
Would y be 4 for question C?
Would y equal to 4? You just let the x become 0. No. When x is 0, what's 3 times 0?
0.
Yeah, so when you're saying let x equal to 0, the whole x is gone. It's not just the x value that's gone. Anything attached to the x is also gone because it's 0. So just y equals to 1.
Okay, thank you.
What you did by accident, you thought of it like this. X is 0, so you're like, right, that's gone. And then you're like, yep, y equals 3 plus 1, and you got 4. But it's not like that. So the whole thing is gone. You're just going to be left with y equals to 1. X is -1/3. Let's say that's somewhere here, -1/3 on that line. And then y is 1 on that line. The scales don't have to be the same. So your y value scale can go up by 1, and your x's looks like it's going up by 1/3. That's completely allowed. And then draw your line that goes through the two values. Last one, D. Probably the hardest one because of the fact that there's 2/3 x there. So let's see who got this one out. Okay, let's do the easier one first, which is the y-intercept. So y-intercept, let x equal to 0. When x is 0, what does y equal to? When x is 0, what do you get? Y equals to -1. Good job, Cindy. And then the harder one, x-intercept, you'd let y equal to 0. So now this y value is 0. Okay, what do we do now? How are we going to solve for x here? Wow, good job, you remember that. Okay. Cindy just said what you do for this question, you have to multiply by the denominator. So she said 2 times 1, because technically there's a 1 there, which is still 2, so that's okay. And then she said 3 times 1, which becomes -3, equals to 0. That's actually really good work. At this stage, you'll plus the 3, and then you'll divide by 2. Now, some students probably wouldn't have done that, so let me show you a different way as well. All right, or you could have also done this. What do we usually get rid of? The number that's attached to the x, or the number that's by itself? What do we get rid of first? The number that's attached, or the number that's by itself? The one by itself. So you're going to plus this one here to the other side. -1 becomes a +1. How do I get rid of this divide 3? How do I get rid of a multiply 2? 3 times 1 is 3. On 2, can you still see I get the same answer? X equals 3 on 2. That one's a hard one. I'm not going to say that's easy. That one's hard. X equals 3 on 2. Again, it's equations. X equals 3 on 2. Let's say it's going up by half, so 0.15. 1, 1.5. 1.5 is the same as 3 on 2. So that's there. And we said y is -1. So let's say that's -half. And that value there is -1. And then just connect your lines. All right. I think some more. I don't feel confident in saying let's move on. So we're going to do some more of those equations. I think question 2 is looking good. Yep. If we can master this, technically we're done. Whatever we would look at next week is more revision than anything else. So there wouldn't be anything new for next week. This is the last component of linear. So a very short topic because it's equations based. Okay, same thing. You're going to sketch these. How do we sketch them? First find x and y intercepts. How do we find x-intercepts? X-intercept, you let y equal to 0. Y-intercept, you let x equal to 0.